Today, we're going to start Unit 2 of our book. In this video, we're going to focus on the vocabulary and the grammar. The vocabulary in this unit refers to groups of people and phrasal verbs. Watch the video and check all the important words in this unit. These are all the important words in this unit. Make sure you know the meaning of each one of them. Now, let's talk about the grammar in this unit. In Unit 2, we're going to study relative clauses. But before we talk about relative clauses, there are some concepts that we must review first. First, we have to be able to answer this question. What's a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense, contains a main verb, and begins with a capital letter. Here we have some examples of sentences. The shop stays open until 9 p.m. Can I help you? Stop arguing. You're driving too fast. Here we have a group of words that makes complete sense, contains a main verb, and begins with a capital letter. They are sentences. Now, we have here some examples of a group of words that are not sentences. The first three have no verbs. They are phrases. The last two have verbs, but they don't make sense. They are clauses. Now, let's take a look at these two sentences. She had a long career, and she is remembered mainly for one early work. They are sentences because they have a main verb, they make sense, and they start with capital letter. Now, let's put these two sentences into one big sentence. She had a long career, but she is remembered mainly for one early work. Again, this is a sentence because it has a main verb, it makes complete sense by itself, and it starts with a capital letter. But what forms this sentence? This sentence is formed by two clauses. Each sentence we had before became part of one longer sentence. Consequently, they became clauses of the sentence. So, our next question is, what is a clause? A clause is a group of words that contains a verb and usually other components too. A clause forms part of a sentence, which may or may not make complete sense by itself. Now that we understand what sentences are and what clauses are, we can talk about relative clauses. Today, we're going to see the difference between defining relative clauses and non-defining relative clauses. Let's talk about defining relative clauses first. Let's analyze these three sentences. They are the people. Here are some cells. They should give the money to somebody. In this case, we cannot fully understand the meaning of these sentences. When we say here, they are the people, who are the people we are referring to? Here are some cells. What are these cells we are talking about? They should give the money to somebody. Who should we give the money to? We need more information to make it clear who or what we are talking about. When we add a clause following these sentences, now we can understand their full meaning. When we add the clause to the rest of the sentence, we have the missing information. They are the people who want to buy our house. We know who are the people we're talking about. Here are some cells which have been affected. We know exactly which cells we are referring to. They should give the money to somebody who they think needs the treatment most. Now it's clear who we should give the money to. So, we use defining relative clauses to give essential information about someone or something. We usually use a relative pronoun, for example, who, that, which, whose, and whom, to introduce a defining relative clause. Let's take a look at these two sentences now. Claire, who I work with, is doing the London Marathon this year. Alice, who has worked in Brussels and London, will be starting a teaching course in the autumn. These two sentences give complete information and we can understand them. But what if we remove the words in bold? Claire is doing the London Marathon this year. Alice will be starting a teaching course in the autumn. It's still possible to understand both sentences. The information we removed from the sentence was not essential to the comprehension of the sentences. They are non-defining relative clauses. We use non-defining relative clauses to give extra information about the person or thing. It is not necessary information. We don't need it to understand who or what is being referred to. Notice that non-defining relative clauses are used between commas. This is what we need to know to start our studies regarding relative clauses. We're going to cover more about this topic as we move along through the unit. That's it, guys. Keep on studying, and I see you in class. Bye-bye.